So this is the second session of UK Scent Sport Trail ID. Trail 1. We're over in James Field. And surprisingly, I mean, there's lots of smells. Kaiser was really distracted. Possibly rabbits or badgers, foxes. Doing well on this first bit. So his head's down, tail's wagging. And he's on trail. So the idea with the UK Scent Sport is that the dog differentiates between decoys, and at the beginning he sniffs an article. We don't know who the person is, and Kaiser's got to identify. So he spots the first person there, ignores, goes in there, and normally Kaiser would give a sit indication, but you can see he's just really distracted. Sniffing, sniffing the ground, peeing, not focused at all, not giving me a sit indication. So I have to tell him a couple of times to work on. I give him a little correction there for the sniff, but again, he's just so heavily distracted, having a wee.
Work on.
And again, just sniffing the ground, really distracted. Not wanting, not focused, not wanting to work. So he goes back there to Susanna. So I'm thinking it is Susanna, but he's not giving me a clear indication. Again, he's just heavily distracted. So he goes down to Rosemary, ignores her.
Kaiser, work on.
Goes back to Susanna. So again, I'm thinking it's Susanna, but he hasn't given me a clear indication. And I need to, within a minute or so, 30 seconds, I need to give an indication of who I think it is. So he's just distracted, not giving me a clear indication. But I tell him to work on, and then he gives me a nice sit. And he waits for his treat, and then I give him a treat. So I think, he was a bit distracted, all the smells. I think he gave me an indication early on. He knew who it was, but then he just continued to do his thing and have a little sniff, really.
Good lad.
But yeah, good job from Kaiser. So it's all good fun, and it's a learning experience. It's all training. I'm sorry, it was Vicky who he didn't give an indication on.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Suzanne, go to the place where
So this is the second trail.
Sniff.
Same thing. Get them to sniff an article in a bag, and I tell him to trail. Again, he's distracted a little bit. But now his nose is down, following the trail. Bit of zigzagging, nice work. Heading in the right direction. And as before, there are two, there's a trail layer and a decoy, so there's two people out. I don't know which person it is. I mean, I do now. It's Vicky. George is out on the left-hand side first. So he completely ignores, shakes by Vicky, goes by Vicky, but then again he's just doing his own thing, not really focused on work. So I tell him in a moment to work on. So he goes round to George, not really interested. Goes back down here. I tell him to work on, and then he gives me a nice clear sit indication.
Good lad.
And he gets his clam with the food in as his reward. So yeah, it's interesting when he's not as distracted. I think he knows, he knows who it is, but it's not as though he doesn't know who it is. He's just doing his own thing, and having a little sniff around. So yeah, good job there from Kaiser. And yeah, then we just head back on up after he's finished peeing and sniffing. So this is the third trail. This was down in a wooded area, and it was
Kaiser.
a particularly challenging one at the end for Kaiser. It was a bit of a tough one, and you'll see why. And I actually, you can see the bags we're using. I think we're going to change, or Jane's going to change that. I actually knew who it was. From the scent article, so I knew it was Susanna. But anyway, I'll explain towards the end. So it heads in the right direction, following the trail, and the trail layer did go round to the left rather than going straight on, so he did go down the right route. And he's off at speed, so yeah, they went round that way rather than straight on. So he does well here, through the woody bit. Going quite fast. Right, the right direction. Now this is the challenging bit. It was a bit mean, I think. Bit of a tough one. So you can see where the two trail layers are. Difficult for Kaiser to give a sit. So he gives a sit on Vicky. And lots of kisses, but I know it's not Vicky, it's Susanna who's on the top step. So he comes up, but he's still sitting there. Again, I tell him to work on, but it's quite difficult for him. So he indicates again. Well, he indicates on Susanna there, but it was more of an indication on Vicky. So I kind of, said it was Vicky. But it was in fact Susanna, which I kind of knew at the beginning.
Which one?
So I let him have a little look at the water.
I'm going to go for Vicky. Yeah.
Yeah, I let him have a little sniff of the water. And he's not been in water yet, interestingly. So I'm glad he didn't just dive in and
Hello, Daddy. Yeah, good boy.
but yeah, so I give him a treat then. Once he indicates, give him his clam with his food in, and then we're just going to do a tiny little run on.
Good boy.
So yeah, just another little run on, so Susanna will just go and hide a little bit further on, and then I'll just tell him to trail in a minute once she's gone, yeah, off he goes. But yeah, that was a particularly challenging little set of steps, but it's all fun. That's what it's all about. It's having fun with you and your dog, enjoying it. It was a lovely day over at Jane's Field, lovely people, and just a good training experience, a learning experience for me and Kaiser. So again, you can see how he's just distracted and wanting to do his own thing today. He's not playing ball. He wanted to sit there, and then he gives a nice sit, waiting for me to give him his treat. I give him his clam, and
good boy.
Job done really. So good work from Kaiser, and as I say, a learning experience for me. It's an opportunity for me to look back at the videos, play them in slow-mo, have a look at body language, and see what's going on really with him. So yeah, really good day, and a fantastic kind of opportunity to learn more about your dog and about trailing.
I've been really proud of them. But I got kisses off Kaiser.